Hello, boys and girls. Today I want to talk to you about the Millionth Women March that's coming up here on January 21st. So I've been seeing a lot of women posting that they're going to the march. Should they go? Should they not go? Who's going? What are we going to do? How are we going to rally? Which I think is so amazing. And it's so needed in the world. I'm so grateful to Donald Trump for being president and putting pussy on the map. I've come to terms with dropping judgment about thinking I know what's best for us as a nation. I know that there's a greater reason why this is happening. And one of the reasons is exactly this. This Million Women's March is now happening because Donald Trump is president. So there's great shift that's already occurring from this person, from this place. Now, what I want to talk about today is this idea that maybe we have to show up as women, to stand our ground and to really be forceful with our presence and to let the masculine know or the world know that we are strong and we don't want to take this bullshit anymore. And all of this anger and hate and upset and aggression and suppression and regression that has happened to women. And I understand that. I'm a woman. I get it. And at the same time, is that really the approach? Is that really the approach that we want to take? To be angry women? To be women that are upset? To be acting and doing a march from a place of pain and agony? I don't think so. The feminine speaks, but she's gentle. The feminine speaks powerful wisdom words, but you have to quiet your mind to really listen to what she's saying. The feminine is powerful, but she is not forceful. She is not aggressive. She is not vindictive. The feminine is just as powerful as the waves of the ocean. The feminine, just like the heavens opened up today and it was pouring rain and you felt that power of the rain beating down on the roof of your cars or of your home. And it comes in waves, right, of power and of pressure. Just like that, we can move as the feminine in that same design. So my invitation, because I'm putting this out here as an invitation, my invitation is to all of my beautiful sisters that are going to stand on the front line. Thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much for going out and for standing for all of us as a collective. And my invitation to you is this. Can you stand there rooted in your pussy power? Can you stand there rooted in love with your heart wide open, beaming in your glory and your radiance as a mother, as a lover, as a sister, as the actual embodiment and reincarnation of the divine goddess? Can you? Can you practice that? Can you cultivate that before you go into the front line? Can you be rooted in that so when you show up onto the front line, that's who you are? Aggression with aggression isn't going to change anything. We can come at anger and aggression and upset with love, with acceptance. The reason why I'm bringing this invitation forward is there's a phenomenal book. It's called The Millionth Circle. I read it 5 years ago, and it changed my life. She talks about the power of the millionth circle, which is when that circle comes and the collective gets together, and when women gather in a sacred space for healing, the scales tip into the favor of the divine design and the feminine order. I know that's what we all want. as the collective, as women, to be heard, to feel safe, to feel respected, to feel equal, and not only equal, to feel worshiped, above equal. We don't need to be equal, right? We don't have to settle on just being equal. We can be worshiped as mothers, as givers of life, as the sacred feminine, in divine union and communion with the masculine, as we then worship the masculine, right? This is the vision that I see changing for the collective. It's not about I, it's about we. It's not just about you or me, it's about we. We have an opportunity to shift things. We have an opportunity with this Millionth Woman March to create the millionth circle and actually tip the scales of the collective to create a massive consciousness awakening that could change the trajectory of consciousness on this entire planet. In the book, she talks about the 99th monkey. A lot of you may have also heard this 99th monkey, wherein there's faraway lands and in different colonized places, and there's a monkey. The monkey's name is Inmu, and in Inmu's story, such a beautiful story, the 99th monkey has to do with the shift in consciousness. Inmu was the 99th monkey. So in these colonies, let's say in Africa and in Japan and where they have all of these monkey colonies, all the monkeys would go down to the water, or excuse me, let me get this correct so I can deliver this properly. All the monkeys would collect their sweet potatoes. None of them took them down by the water. They would all just eat their sweet potatoes with grit and grind from the dirt and from the trees. And one day, Inmu took her sweet potato down to the water, and she washed her sweet potato before she ate it. No one told her how to do this. She didn't see another person doing this. She just had this idea in her monkey mind consciousness to wash her sweet potato before she ate the potato. She enjoyed the potato so much, she started washing her sweet potatoes every time she would eat them. She then started teaching her fellow tribe, the sisters and the brothers, how she would also wash the potatoes before they eat them. And soon enough, all of the monkeys in her colony and in her tribe were all washing their sweet potatoes. The researchers saw this and thought it was absolutely fascinating. Now, let's cut forward to, they land on another space, and they go and see and research another colony of monkeys on a completely different continent. And they notice that these monkeys are now also washing their sweet potatoes. Now, they've studied and researched this colony before, and they've never done this. But what occurred was a phenomena in consciousness, which we now call as the 99th monkey, where that 1/99th%, that 99th monkey shift the consciousness of the collective of its species and its tribe. And now, like a domino effect, all of the monkeys around the world and all the different continents and the countries were now all washing their sweet potatoes before they would eat them. It's an absolute phenomenon. No one had to tell them. But because we're all connected through oneness, we all come from the same source, it shifted, literally shifted their consciousness and their behavioral patterns. Now we have an opportunity here with the same thing. We don't know, the difference is we don't know how far we are from the collective gathering together to achieve this 99th circle, right? The 99th circle here, the millionth circle mark. We don't know how many women have gathered. We don't know how many people have shown up in love and in healing. So we don't know how far along that scale we are. But what if we were right there? What if this Millionth March was actually the millionth circle that Jean Shinoda talked about in her book? That could actually change the consciousness of humanity and the way that we view women in the world. Wouldn't we want to show up from a place of empowerment, of compassion, of love, of femininity. Dancing in celebration, sharing and showing the world who we are as women, the divine beauty of who we are, which is celebration and dance and song and costumes and beauty and all of the things that make us the feminine, our fierceness, our independence. We have an opportunity to worship ourselves from this place. When we feel like because we weren't being honored and worshiped, we're going to take a stand. Don't bring out the pitchforks. Don't bring out the knives. Bring out the flowers. Bring out the music and the drums. Bring out the scarves to dance with. Bring out the food and the nourishment. Imagine how much of an impact that would make if all the women were marching, would give out a gift to every single area and person that they encountered while they were on that walk. There's that saying with, the goddess and the woman, she leaves a little bit of sparkle everywhere she goes. What if we left a little bit of sparkle and a little bit of fairy dust and the feminine essence as we marched? And what if we didn't march, but what if we danced and we flew in our bodies and just flew in that motion and was in complete flow as we moved through that movement? What if it wasn't a movement? I'm sorry, what if it wasn't a march, but it was a movement? How would you move and flow and dance like you're hearing a really good song that just turns you on, or you're excited about, or a song that just gets you deep in your body, wanting to just move, right? How would you operate in the day in that way? You can choose to be happy when you show up. You can choose to love when you show up in that march. It's just a thought. And it's my invitation to each and every one of you women who are going to stand up, who are going to rise up, unleash your wild woman, unleash your sacred feminine. Stand in your fierceness of not settling on anything less than you know you deserve in the worshiping and honoring of the divine feminine who you are, and show up for your sisters in that way. Be an example for some of the other women who are so stuck in their stories of pain, of sadness, of upset, who maybe are so broken down that they don't know another way. They're not connected to their pussy power. They're not connected to sisterhood. They're not connected to other feminine embodiments or circles or programs like a lot of us women who are blessed to be a part of these communities are. Please share this medicine with them. Bring them up. Help your sisters rise up above the trauma and the muck, and bring them into the glory and the beauty and the remembrance of who they are through dance, through song, through prayer, through celebration, my sisters. This could really be what she's been talking about. This could really be the millionth circle through the Millionth Woman March. It really could be. And what if it was? What if it is? How would you want to say you showed up? I'd want to show up wearing this. And I'd want to show up with myself connected here. I understand the upset. I really, really do, my sisters. I've been through a lot. I have so much empathy for each and every one of you. Going through child molestation, relationship abuse and trauma, cervical cancer. I understand 1 in 4 women go through sexual trauma and abuse. I'm one of them. I am. And I've healed from it. And I've released the anger, and I've come into deep acceptance and resonance with the soul of who I am, my soul design and blueprint. It's an experience that I had, and it's not my experience anymore, and it's not in my field of consciousness anymore. And it doesn't have to be in yours either. We don't have to focus on the repression and the negativity. We can focus on the beauty and the blissfulness and the sacredness of who we are. Please share this video with anyone that you know that this would resonate with anyone who's going to march on the front line and be in that place, in that space. We don't have to stand with a love punch in the face. We can stand in a place of divine devotion. Our presence alone creates a sparkle effect throughout the entire collective. When we show up as the goddess, in our God self, our goddess self, in our embodiment, in our open, compassionate heart, in our vulnerability, and then we allow the world to see us in that space, that is strength. That is courage. That is my wish for each and every one of us, is to know this type of strength, courage, healing, and vulnerability, and to share that. Only then can we be real. Only then can we know that we're loved unconditionally. Dance, my sisters, dance. For it is when we dance and move through, can we dance into victory. I love you. I am with you. I support you. And for all of you who are interested in gathering with me, on the 22nd, I'll be having Pussy Church again here in Los Angeles, California. Please send me a message if you're interested in joining us, as we'll be doing a sacred meditation as we ride that energy in the wave of the collective. And as I join myself and many other sisters on that day, on the 21st, in my own ritual for women, I won't be right on the front line at the marching line, but I will be holding sacred space. So reach out to me if you're interested in gathering as well. And I send you so much love. Again, it's an invitation. Do with it what you choose to. And if anything, I hope that this shifted even the smallest thing within you. For my intention is to just plant the smallest of seeds. It is up to you to water and to nourish and to decide if you're going to allow those seeds to be planted within your seeds of consciousness. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.